Hello everyone, welcome to another video on MTG Arena. So today we are playing Meta Phoenix. What is Meta Phoenix, you ask? Well, basically, I've always liked the blue-red Phoenix deck. I've always thought it was really powerful, but when I tried to play a stock list in the current standard metagame, it felt awful to me. Goblin Electromancer just kept getting bounced by Teferi, Time Raveler. We were basically cold to a Narset. It felt like if they played one and didn't tick it down, just left it on 5, the game was just over. I couldn't possibly win. And that felt really, really awful. But then a viewer of my stream suggested that a few cards that could be changed, and I took them and tried it out, and suddenly the deck feels great. So, what are, first, the key cards that are really common in this deck that we are not playing? As I mentioned, Goblin Electromancer, gone. He just gets bounced, he eats removal, just generally not a super excellent card. Right now. In a vacuum, there's really nothing better, but we are not playing in a vacuum. The next one is Radical Idea. It's a little harder to go off and get a Phoenix all in one turn with this deck, because we don't have one card that counts as multiple spells in exactly that same way. But instead we have Shimmer of Possibility, and so now there's actually a card that we can cast that does things, and doesn't draw cards, similar to why I thought 5-mana Niv-Mizzet was good in this meta. This is a spell that we can cast that isn't hosed by Narset, and that is really huge. In other versions I was playing 2 Saheeli. This deck goes up to the full 4, and she has felt great. Just really good at grinding games out with all those servos. And importantly, she is a planeswalker, so she has all the benefits of normal planeswalkers, but she doesn't have the drawback of losing to the Immortal Sun. And that's the other weird card we're playing. This shuts planeswalkers down. The discount plays really well with all of our spells that cost 1C. Servos being 2/2s is excellent. This card is just really, really good right now. And there are very few decks that can afford to take advantage of it. I think this is one of the decks that can. So, I've really, really liked this. Beyond that, everything else is pretty stock. We have some burn, a lot of cantrips. Playing Burning Prophet. This card pressures things better than Goblin Electromancer. The Scries offer a ton of value as we're casting all these spells. Chart of Course is a lot better if you scry one first. Just way more card selection. And importantly, I found that the spell people are playing most often to sweep up the board is Cry of the Carnarium. And while that would hit both all my servos and my Arclight Phoenix and a Goblin Electromancer, it does not hit Burning Prophet. So against both Moment of Craving and Cry, you're very glad to have this card in your deck. So yeah, like I said, everything else is pretty standard. One of the more hit or miss cards is Finale of Promise. When this is a good card, it's the best card you'll ever cast. When it's bad, it's really bad. And as I've talked before about 3-mana Teferi, this card is blank against him, so be careful. Moving on to the sideboard, we've got a lot of burn spells: Lava Coil, Lightning Strike, Cannonade, and Fight with Fire. These are just basically redistributing our removal to make sure that it lines up well against what the opponent's doing. Narset is good against the Mirror or any other match where they want to draw cards and you need to grind them out. This card is quite good. I could even see main decking it, but I'm not sure what the cut would be, and it's definitely fine out of the sideboard. Crackling Drake is one of those cards that we're not playing in the main, but we could. It's kind of slow and clunky, and oh boy do we have plenty of that in our main deck. But when it's the card you want, it's fantastic, so I'm glad to have access to it out of the sideboard. Niv-Mizzet is really difficult for control decks or Nexus decks to beat, so I'm glad to have access to this. And the Immortal Sun is just to go up to 3 in the matchups where this is really, really good, like against the Dreadhorde type strategies. I mentioned Nexus, and I will just say that I've constructed this sideboard in a way that some matchups are just not there. Like the blue-green Mass Manipulation deck and blue-green Nexus are not very widely played. You're unlikely to run into them, and if you do run into them, you're kinda just dead. And I think that's okay. Those are a little enough of the meta that I'm fine giving up on them, because those matchups are so incredibly bad that it would take a lot of cards to turn them around. I would want a couple Spell Pierce and a bunch of negates, and importantly, those cards aren't good anywhere else. If Negate were good against control decks, then yeah, sure, I would throw a bunch of them in here. But with everyone playing 3 mana Teferi, I don't want to play reactive counter spells. So, like I said, I'm just kind of giving up on those matchups. Hopefully we don't find them. You've seen me play Blue-Red Phoenix before. This is kind of more of that, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Okay, first match with Meta Phoenix. Perhaps should be titled Anti-Meta Phoenix. So that's kind of what it is. On the play, that's nice. This hand looks good to me. Alright. If we're against a deck where we care about our life total, then we are quite likely to want to shock on turn 1. So I'm going to go ahead and hold this up. Yeah. Man, I'm good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just snap off Chart of Course because we've already got a good card to pitch. Whew. Looking a little flooded here. That's okay. Getting an instant and a sorcery also has value in itself. Oh god. Flipping out pretty bad here. We're against red-green. I think we're really likely to need a Lava Coil in the coming moments. Whether it's a Gruul Spellbreaker or a Legion Warboss, we're going to want to Lava Coil something here. Bond of Flourishing. Alright. Not totally sure what's happening anymore. I've only seen this card see play in, like, Bolas' Citadel decks and that type of thing. Gruul Spellbreaker, sure. Oh, well they missed a land drop, so I'm going to pounce. Get that crap out of here. Alright, so they might, like, if they go land Spellbreaker here. Oh, they just don't have anything? That's good for me.
You want,
I mean, you just stick this and, like... Oh, man, they didn't even get to see it. Okay. So, what do we think is going on here? Against Gruul Spellbreaker, Lava Coil is where I want to be. Lightning Strike less so. Shock's still very good for all their little dudes. Burning Prophet tends to just get overpowered and beaten up in matchups like this, whereas Crackling Drake does not. I'm going to board in the Niv-Mizzet as kind of a trump that can take over the game, as long as we're not super dead by that point. I don't think it's clear yet whether or not the Immortal Sun is good. They could have like a bunch of Planeswalkers like Domri and Nissa and stuff like that, or they might not be playing any. I think I'll reevaluate after this game. Other cards I would consider boarding in include like Fight with Fire. If we go through the next game and lose and see a bunch of creatures and no Planeswalkers, I'll go ahead and cut these Immortal Suns for Fight with Fires. If we can stay alive, our late game... One of the cool things about this deck is you can sort of assume that your late game is better, except like against Nexus or whatever, where their late game is take all the turns, because obviously we can't beat that. But, alright, this hand is sweet. This hand's really good, actually. Go ahead and call shot again. If they've got an Incubation Druid, I really want to shock it. And slow them down. Yeah. No, go away. Okay, now we're not holding up shock anymore, so I really want to get one of these Shimmer of Possibilities into my graveyard. We've already got 4 lands, already have an Opt, already have a Finale, so I guess Saheeli is our best option. Next turn we could, like, Saheeli and then look to do something after that. Cool. Alright. So they've basically got 1 turn to do something really powerful. If we get to untap with Saheeli on the board, then we get to Finale, Shock something, and Shimmer.
You will not dissuade me from battle.
Yeah, they got pretty aggressive here. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep our options open. Because this way, if they contribute to the board a lot, we could Finale and get back Shock and the other thing. Ooh, a second Finale is actually quite good. Especially because we know the third one is like down here somewhere. Means we're not going to totally flood out on these effects. I am going to block because I want to keep Saheeli alive here.
Do not mistake grace for weakness.
Alright, so this is actually... Deck is really just humming here. I don't think we want that exactly. X is at 2, and then we get to Opt and Lava Coil. So Lava Coil this dude, Opt. Crackling Drake is exactly what we want. Yeah, this game is brutal. Finale of Promise is just unbelievable. When this card's good, there's nothing that compares. It's like a guaranteed 2-for-1 in a deck where we're perfectly happy. Even just casting spells for no value because we've got Saheelis and Burning Prophets and whatever else. Yeah, that game was quite fast and I think showed exactly how strong we can be. Okay, second match with Meta Phoenix. On the play again. This hand's a little worse, but I think still good enough. Of the lands in our deck, 18 will help the second Sulfur Falls enter untapped, so Opt is like pretty good at setting this up later. Because we've got 8 mountains, 6 islands, and 4 steam vents. No, not Saheeli. Sick. Then stick this now. Godless Shrine could be basically anything. Okay, Esper of some sort. Let's see if we can sneak a Saheeli in under counterspells. Yeah.
Behold, new wonders.
And then I think I'm just gonna slam an Arclight Phoenix here. If they want to counter it, that's totally okay. That's where I wanted my Phoenix anyway. And I want to start drawing counter spells as aggressively as I can, drawing them out. Because if they are Esper control, which, yes, they definitely are, the Immortal Sun is going to be very difficult for them to beat. Okay, Teferi is actually quite annoying here because of the aforesaid issues with Shimmer. What do we do here? I think we're gonna take Lightning Strike. Get to discard a card, and we could shock this, bring back our Phoenix, and kill him. Yeah, that seems pretty lit. I don't think we're gonna need this Lightning Strike now.
Don't make another move.
Yay, Phoenix.
Now.
Yeah, so now we've got a fantastic board, basically like pre-built-in rebuild, and an excellent hand. This is why this deck feels so much better than the other one. Like, we got to Shimmer. Shimmer was way better than Radical Idea there. Saheeli was excellent. Just kind of beat our opponent up there. Okay, let's board in all these good cards. Lava Coil definitely out. We want to cut down on like one Saheeli. They usually cut like one Finale of Promise because this card plays so poorly against both Teferi and counterspells. I'll usually trim a Tormenting Voice for the same reason. Really bad against counterspells. Then probably just a couple shocks. We want some amount of burn to pressure Narsets, especially, and Teferi too. But we've got a lot of other answers going on for those, whether it's servos or these creatures. And like, the thing was, we drew well enough off of our cantrips there that we just completely ended the game. Like, that game was over on turn 5. They just conceded. But even if things hadn't gone as well, and like we hadn't been able to kill Teferi and hadn't gotten our Phoenix back, we were just building up all those servos, and so they need to fight those off and shut us down at the same time, or we're going to keep playing extremely powerful cards while building up an army that kind of destroys them. This hand is fine. I like that it has an answer for a Narset if they downtick, and a bunch of spells to dig for stuff if they don't. Saheeli is an excellent draw. They gonna Thought Erasure me here? Yep, that's fine. This is a reason not to board down on Saheeli, because she's so good if we can keep copies of her around. So maybe I should have stayed with 4. I think our threat density is plenty high, though. Taking Shimmer strikes me as kind of odd. I'm just gonna pass. If they Narset and downtick, I'll Lightning Strike it. Hell, if they Narset and don't, I'll probably Lightning Strike her down to 2. So I'm gonna end up doing that eventually anyway. Well, if they have Duress plus Thought Erasure and they can take both our Saheelis, then we're in a little bit of trouble. But that kind of means they don't have anything going on either. Okay, so they like 1000% have a Dovin's Veto here. Yeah, I think I'll just Chart a Course. Pitch one. Oh, I should have pitched the Lightning Strike they knew about. That was a mistake. I didn't even think about it. Wait. Did the game do it for me? Because this isn't... Oh, man. Did they... I think the game might have saved me from myself, which is really impressive.
Present and future. I have just the trick for this.
Okay, so we don't get to draw cards anymore. That is fine. Okay, well, if they didn't have a veto before, they do now. Sticking Saheeli could be good here, but I kind of just want to make sure that Narset dies. Playing Burning Prophet first, so I get my Scry. Don't think I want land 5. I think I'm likely to draw into it whether I like it or not.
I won't forget our time.
So I don't... This will insulate me from flooding. Now they're in a tough spot. Okay. Yep, this is like their best play, and it's just not that good.
You show remorse. You know what? I'm not done yet.
It's like they have one Dovin's Veto. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to Saheeli. I assume she's gonna get vetoed. Yep, it's fine. That is an excellent draw. Then I'm going to hit Teferi for 2. The difference between 3 and 2 is not that big here. And this way I just get to straight up draw 2 cards. So now, like, they get one more card off Teferi, which is pretty irritating. It's going to take a long time to grind through this, but unless they hit, like, the exact right stuff. Like, Narset kind of blanks. Okay, that's step 1. They took Finale, alright. They have a counterspell for my Narset, maybe? Okay, they're tapped out on blue. Oh no, they can untap. Alright, well. I mean, if this doesn't work, I'll just concede. The game's over. It does work, though. They do not have, like, Lightning Strike or anything like that, so we can very freely tick down Narset. They should wait, I think, here. They don't know we're not playing counter spells, I guess, so that's why they want to do that. But, alright, now all it takes is, like, if we draw another Finale, which... We only have 1 left, so that's, unfortunate.
You need to take a timeout.
Okay, that's really aggressive. Makes me wonder if they've got counters or something. Because any sort of burn spell or a Phoenix would kill him now. Oh, never mind. This is also still just really aggressive.
Thank me later. We need to move quickly.
Well, I'm gonna try. Okay. Keeping Mortify in against me is interesting. Alright. Basically, our only hope is drawing our other Finale. That would get us up a lot of cards and also buy back the Phoenix. Try to clear Teferi. But we have been Teferi'd very thoroughly this game. These are all just excellent cards for them to have had at given moments, and they get a lot more cards than we do. I don't think this is good enough. Yeah, they could brick. Opt into Saheeli is like not that good actually, so I'm gonna wait and then play Saheeli and opt afterwards.
No time for a break.
This card continues to be totally and unbelievably absurd, in case you were curious. Alright. I guess we keep playing now.
Great things, you and I.
Yep, another Contempt, sure.
Innovation knows no bounds. I will return.
That's no way that's good enough. Yeah. Just gonna pass. There's like nothing that we could hit here that would really matter on this board. But maybe, like, I don't know, if we draw Niv-Mizzet next turn. I guess we've got Niv-Mizzets and the Immortal Suns in our deck, so this is like not game over until it ults, basically. If we can ever stick either of those, we're in pretty good shape.
Keep up the pace.
Yep, untap your stuff. Alright. Okay, one more draw. Okay. Is this good? It's resolved. You just have nothing. Oh god. Are we gonna win this game? I mean, like, this is their main answer anything card. So, guess I go ahead and do this with Exit 2. I'm gonna opt, and I'm gonna chart a course. They draw a counter now. That'd be kind of funny. They drew one turn too late. Alright, so they shut down my best card, but so did I. I shut down theirs. I don't think I can kill them that fast enough that it's super likely to matter. So I'm gonna try to clear Teferi, so if they ever do hit a removal spell for this, they don't have anything. They have a removal spell here? Yep, cast down. Okay. Well, neither of us have very much going on, but I'm drawing 2 cards a turn, and they are not. Okay. Well, this is a legendary artifact. Playing a second one does not do anything, but it does mean that I have a spare. That said, if they ever draw... Oh, well, that's sad. If they ever draw a way to deal with this, they'll just immediately ult Teferi, and then the game's over, so it didn't really matter much. Kept on top. Uh-oh. What does that mean? It's got to be something that answers this, right? There's just no way they top anything that isn't... I'm gonna bottom this one. We're already doing a lot of digging this turn. I think my mana's gonna be tied up. Oh, hello. Hey, big guy. Let me go ahead and pass. Like, I could have chart a course there. I don't know how good that is, though. I think I'd rather just leave Shock up, threaten to draw an extra card, shoot a bunch of stuff for a bunch of damage. Yeah, they just pack it in. Oh, man. I say take one more draw step with the opt, and it's something they were able to beat, I guess. Okay. Third and final match with Meta Phoenix. So far, this deck has done exactly what you wanted it to. It's kind of funny that Teferi, both of them, honestly, but especially 3-mana Teferi and Narset, have warped things around themselves so thoroughly. Uh-oh. No, this is not really when you want to be on the draw with this hand, but here we are. That, weird cards that used to be good, or that have never really found a place, suddenly become much better. And examples of that are like that Sultai control deck that I've played. Carnage Tyrant is better than it's been in a long time because of the cards that people are playing. Don't think I want Basic Mountain. I've already got some untapped lands accounted for. Yeah. Okay. They missed a land drop, so we've got some time here. And then the other one is the Immortal Sun. Like, no one's playing artifact removal right now. Not really. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just burn this, keep things off the table. I would be doing it later anyway to be making sure that they don't get to flip Legion's Landing. So might as well just minimize damage right now. I'm just gonna start by shimmering. Burning Prophet is excellent here. Well, not this turn, obviously, because I can't cast it, but against White Weenie, where they've got all these 1/1s, and they play like actual Savannah Lion type creatures, Burning Prophet is excellent. Well, that's unfortunate. Can I have my Lightning Strike back? I could have guessed from what they were doing here. That's what was happening to me. Probably just dead now. Well, I'm going to take a lot of damage right here, and that's just kind of how it is. What I can do, though, is, I suppose I can dig and try to find things to do. But, like, I can definitely not. I can just start making a whole bunch of servos and chump this forever until the end of time. Like, if they attack with all of these here, which they want to, because they really want to flip this Legion's Landing, I get to eat this vampire, take 1, or take 5. And that's obviously not great, but if I can start making a ton of servos, like I said, just chump this for the rest of days. Uh-oh. It's like mildly irritating, but not really that good. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and chart a course here, because I already know what I want to pitch. Go ahead. If they have another Oath of Kaya, I'm dead. But, whatever. Very gladly block. I'm kind of glad they're attacking at her anyway. Okay.
Enough.
That's fine. What else do you got? Okay. Also fine. Okay. Alright, so they are basically out of gas. Go ahead and opt. Lava Coil is probably good enough. We can hit this Honor Guard, since it attacks into our servos a little annoyingly well. I suppose I should Shimmer first. I'm going to go ahead and take a Tormenting Voice to ditch possible later Phoenixes. And I'm just going to pass. Looking to block here. They've shown Moment of Triumph already, and this blocks that effectively. So their attacks are just, like, not very good. They can just tax me one servo with a Johnny's Bridemate. That's not really relevant. Okay. Yeah, look, they're spending entire cards on these 1/1s. We get them for free. Unless they draw, like, some sort of mirror breaker, like something to make their creatures much scarier than they are right now. I think we've got this one. Like, it's kind of only a matter of time. Yeah, okay. I mean, this is kind of what I just referred to. Like, suddenly their creatures are much scarier than they were a second ago. I'm gonna go ahead and Tormenting Voice, pitching this Mountain. That is quite good. Can, like, Lava Coil Lightning Strike with a Finale. Is that good? It's, like, kinda good. Then we can look to trade a bunch of servos for here, keep chumping this. Hopefully Charter Course will rebuild us someday. Let's go with an opt instead of that. I'm still going to do this part, because this 4/4 is going to be a big problem. But we can just trade the Phoenix for the Healer's Hawk any number of times, so I feel pretty safe there. Sure, drawing another Phoenix seems okay. Worst case scenario, we just pitch it to a Charter Course. We really want to find another one of these. Sure. That was not something our deck was interested in anyway. I don't like this attack at all. Yeah, sure. Doesn't do anything. I have no idea why they didn't ship with this. Their life total's perfectly safe, and our attacks are garbage. Like, we just get to keep an extra servo for no reason. Yeah, it's infinitely big. That's fine. If I win the game, that is not going to be... This was not going to factor in. Pitch a Phoenix. So now we're back into kind of needing to draw something again, but we're going to start eating at their life total quite quickly. Go, birds! Opponent really wishes Zealous Persecution was in the format. Yeah, I'll block. Anything? Oh man, that's just super gas. I don't think we have a reason to do that pre-combat. If we do it post, then we get to just draw cards off Chart a Course. And this should be the end. Because we get to opt and Chart a Course. And we get 3 servos off of this, which just means they'll never be able to attack through it. Nope, not interested. That's just mean. Do we just do that again? Just like shock them and shimmer off of the finale? I think I want to save that. That's a little aggressive. Like in case we need some removal for some other... Like we would like to clear a Healer's Hawk or something like that. For that reason, I guess I take a Lightning Strike. Let's just end the turn. We can threaten a lot of damage out of nowhere by Saheeli turning one of these servos into a Phoenix and then playing another Saheeli and doing it. Doing it again. Then we can attack for 15. Whew. I'm glad I have a Lightning Strike. Well, that's not really true. We could just overpower them with the Phoenixes, but... they had the potential to make this game take a lot longer. Alright, so, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and speed this process up. Doing this before the Saheeli so that we will get an extra scry, although I really don't think it matters very much. Go ahead and keep that on top, in case for some reason we needed an extra turn.
I like to think fast.
Yeah, we couldn't... I suppose actually I could have killed them this turn. I didn't completely think this through. We could have gotten an extra 5 off the servos, and if I hadn't played the Burning Prophet, then we could have finale'd back and killed them, but that game was super over no matter what we did, so... Okay, against White Weenie. Let's see. The Immortal Sun is really slow and not very good. Well, I usually board out Finale, but I guess this time I won't, because the main build of White Weenie is a blue-white for Little Teferi, and Finale doesn't work with Little Teferi out, so that lines up quite poorly. Get to board in these Cannonades, which is pretty good. Getting some Crackling Drakes and shave, like, 1 cantrip or something like that. We could go even lower on Saheeli's, but if we don't draw a Cannonade, she is one of our best cards, especially against the opponent's deck. It looked like Venerated Loxodon was their only way to pump the toughness of their creatures, so the servos are quite good. Now that we know they're black-white with the life gain theme, we want to make sure that we're careful and can handle a potential Pride Mate. Like, I burned a Shock really early that game that would have made that game very easy if we'd taken out the Pride Mate with it. Whew. Kind of want to keep this. Any land, and the hand does quite a lot. Shock can keep us alive, and we have our best card. This is really greedy, but I'm going to keep 7 on the draw. Like I said, since we know about Ajani's Pride Mate now, unless they play really smart with like a moment of triumph or anything like that, whew, that's not a great draw. We should be able to nab it with a Shock, and that'll slow them way down. Burning Prophet just matches up so well against their creatures, like I said. Even any land at all, and this hand would be quite good. If we didn't cast any other spells but cast these, we could live for a long time, and then a Fiery Cannonade would be game over. Most of the time. Alright, deck. I could really use an island right about now. But I would take a mountain. Yes! Oh, baby. Now this lets us cast a Charter Course if we want, which can scry us into a land for a Fiery Cannonade. Oh boy. It's kind of scary. Or not. Cool. Land on top. I'm just gonna pass. I think our life total is much more valuable than theirs. We'll win the game with a 15 million for Crackling Drake later. Okay, what are they gonna do with this guy?
Stop this fight, but I will finish it.
And this is like actually pretty annoying. They could buy back Pridemate here and attack.
Accept the darkness.
They would just grow this to a 3/3 immediately. Okay. Well, unfortunately for them, they're gonna lose everything here. Don't really want that. Yeah, that was whew, that was pretty brutal. I'm sorry, opponent. That worked out very well for us. Splendid Angel, sure. A little scary, but that's fine. If we opt, we're not really doing anything else anyway. Huh. I think I still do want to opt here, in case we find like a Steam Vents. Yeah, like that. Yeah. See, this only costs 6 to activate, and they've... So any land drop and they get to do it? That's really scary. If they have a land here, we might just lose to this card. No, they do not have a land drop, so we will probably not lose to this card. If they have some sort of instant speed removal spell, then Crackling Drake is pretty bad. So I think I just want to snap this off. Do I want 5th land? Not really. I've already got spells to do here. Probably not an opt either, because we just bottomed a land. Okay, got rid of that. Miss out on a couple damage here, but just get to straight up draw these cards now. After scrying too. Don't want that. Don't really have a discard outlet for it. I don't know what I'm looking for. Whatever, these are fine. What's in their hand? That it was neither a land nor something they wanted to cast on either of our turns. It seems really odd to me. Okay, that makes sense. If they've been like holding out for a better target. They're gonna be pretty sad they didn't wait one more turn though. I'm just gonna slam the Crackling Drake here. Could opt and I'm pretty likely to find a land, but... Sure, I've got plenty of life to work with. Just do this, holding up both opt and shock. Basically making sure we don't lose to any funny business here, like, I don't know, a Pridemate into attack, and then we just never manage to kill it. I don't know. I think we're pretty set on this one. Sure, you got my Drake. I'm actually going to take this. I don't want to lose the game to a random Ajani's Pridemate. That would be the most annoying way to lose here. Yeah, I like that card. Okay, so let's see what Exit 2 gets us. Could get an Opt and a Charter Course, or a Shock and a Charter Course. I like that. shock. Chart. Sure. She seems okay. Do a lot of scry to the top, immediately scry to the top again in this deck. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and end turn, like I said, leaving up shocks so we don't die to anything weird. I mean, that's weird, but we're not going to die to it, so... We're, like, annoyingly out of things to do here. Nope, don't want that.
What an interesting creature.
Just play these and threaten to block, I guess, for right now. Could really use another card draw spell. I'll just double block if they attack. Got a spare profit, yeah. If they leave Phoenix alive, then Phoenix can just sort of win the game now. Okay, this game was like a little awkward and we kind of weirdly ran out of cards at the end, but they would need a lot to get back into this. And I feel quite confident that we're going to win. Yeah, and I'm just going to pass here. If they attack with this, I can shock it and then block with our 2/2 profit and just trade. Or I can even just block with the servo, actually. That's even better. I could even let her just go to 2. Wow, let's try to get this guy off the table. Sure. Oh, I think I actually missed lethal here. If I just let her go to 2, then I could have turned the servo into a Phoenix, lightning strike to them, they would have died. Oops. It did not matter, that game was not particularly close. Okay, we coasted to a very quick 3-0 with this deck. Not all the matchups came up exactly, like showing why to play this over a normal stock version, but it was quite good, so it at least shows that I didn't undermine what the deck's good at too much. That's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this video, you should try subscribing to this channel and also following my Twitch page in the link down below in the description box. I play all sorts of stuff like this all the time, and if you follow, it'll notify you when I go live. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.